Want the game to die, man. I really don't want the game to die. Oh my god, where is everybody? Damn, that's sad. That's so sad, man.
It means that the game isn't going to get shut down for probably another year. So
Getting people to try your game is easy, getting them to stick around is hard. 1 million people tried New World on day one, and now 100,000 play it on the daily.
I thought what we had was special!
Imagine a game having a very successful launch with almost 1 million players playing from the very start, only to then completely lose more than 90% of its player base, eventually raising questions about whether the game was shut down. It has reached a point where the developers' lack of competence makes it seem like they are almost intentionally trying to kill their own game.
God damn it!
You could argue all you want about the issues being bugs, glitches, dupes, or lack of content, but I believe it's safe to say that New World is the perfect example of something that looks great on the outside, but is truly bland and disappointing on the inside. I'm going to reveal to you the absolute best things about New World that arguably stand out among the competition, but I will also be real with you and share my opinion about what absolutely killed the player base, and ultimately, you can decide for yourself why you would want to play it. New World is arguably one of the best looking MMORPGs on the market right now. I don't think there's any game that comes close to what this game has to offer in terms of graphical fidelity and art style. It is the game for taking cinematic shots, where you just have to stand still at times and just take it all in. New World has long been known for its realistic and stunning graphics. You have to take a moment to admire the environment. Everything from basic foliage to lighting and texture has been crafted to create a visually breathtaking experience, and there's no question about whether the art team at Amazon Game Studios did their job or not. This includes what you get to experience whenever you're killing mobs or other players. The animations, the spell effects, and overall combat visuals are visually satisfying. They strike a perfect balance of not overwhelming but still impactful. The combat visuals in New World are well balanced, considering that each weapon doesn't have a million different abilities. This allows you to appreciate every second of the action without feeling too overloaded or underwhelmed. The sound design and the music in this game is also arguably one of the best in any MMORPGs. The music that's running in the background will always make you feel nostalgic. It gives a sense of discovery and exploration while you're adventuring in the world. It can also feel very chill at times when you're out in the wilderness trying to harvest and gather resources. It is the perfect type of music to have when you come home after a hard day at work and you just want to play and have a chill moment. The sound effects are also just as nice for certain moments in the game. Not only when you're harvesting or chopping trees in the game, but even when you kill mobs or certain dungeon bosses. Again, this game just does a really good job with making certain moments in the game not only sound very appealing but also impactful, and it creates an impression that the game is very alive. Some dungeons and places also look visually stunning and gives you a really good first impression. This is what I believe New World does best. It is most of the things that you can visually see and hear. Anything from killing mobs, to visiting towns, to running dungeons, all of it feels very alive, and you simply cannot deny that New World most likely brought in a lot of players, if not a majority of the players, because of these things alone. And I think that's really about it, guys.
Is that it? Oh no. Good.
I can go on for days about how much I like the music in the game or how stunning some of the visuals look here, but that shouldn't be the entirety of the game. What I believe most people care about is how a game is fundamentally designed and how the gameplay feels. And the fact that New World does these two things on an average level is what it ultimately comes down to.
What are you doing? What do you mean? What do you mean?
The quest design is boring and bland because most of the time you kill mobs or loot chests. Running from one chest to another to get loot is also repetitive and boring. Leveling all of your professions is also repetitive and boring as it does not come with a lot of variety. Open world PvP is now basically dead because you allow people to enable or disable it. New World is a faction based type of game where an imbalance is always present and faction wars are just never fair. Again, there are so many bad design practices here that New World is fundamentally known for, and unfortunately Unfortunately, these are some of the things that you cannot just change overnight. For the gameplay experience, it is a bit different here, as I believe New World has a great foundation for developing an action combat style of gameplay that has a true display of skill. Their one-on-one type of combat experience against mobs or other players is what makes it feel challenging and rewarding, and it provides a really satisfying feeling as opposed to killing 1,000 mobs with just one ability in other games.
What kind of animal are you?
However, this is also where New World falls in terms of gameplay optimization, as unfortunately this game has been known for a very long time to have something called desync. Desynchronization is basically a mismatch in the communication between your client that you have downloaded on Steam and their servers, which for most of the time in New World causes inconsistencies in gameplay actions and responses, which eventually makes it feel very clunky and unpredictable. If you give a player all the tools and the equipment they need in order to beat someone and they still lose that fight, chances are they most likely will complain about a bad meta or weapon combination that they are using. But if the fight happens to become unfair out of nowhere because the game punishes you with clunkiness and unresponsive actions, it then results with you complaining about the game being bad rather than you admitting that you suck.
Hey! Stop it!
And these two reasons alone, I believe, is one of the main reasons why New World has lost nearly all of its player base. It just isn't an enjoyable experience when the game punishes you in that way. You also have to take into account that the developers are 100% a part of this, as they have not only been very slow with fixing issues and making new content, but always made poor decisions at times.
We do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description.
But like maybe what New World should do is like after they release the content they're planning on, they should just stop making content and just make a huge expansion.
What? What the fuck?
The game is close to being pretty good. We just need more endgame. We need more New World.
Please, sir, I want some more.
And not to be rude towards these gentlemen, but adding more content or expansions to the game is not the solution for New World to make a comeback, because let's be real here, if that was the case, it wouldn't be sitting at barely 7,000 players at the moment. I don't think just more and more and more content is the solution to attracting and keeping new players. What this game truly needs is a damn revamp, just like Final Fantasy XIV had when it relaunched. Adding more content to the game is what the developers at New World have already been doing since the launch of the game, while ignoring the core issues. It is obviously going to cost them more money to try and revamp the entire game when we can just add new content and pretend like the game doesn't have any issues. I will tell you this, man, playing New World for the first time feels amazing and really nice, but the more you play the game, the more you realize how much you start to hate it, and that's simply because New World fundamentally sucks and always has, and it just doesn't seem like that will ever change, which is the reason why I believe you shouldn't really play this game. So save your time and money and just go somewhere else. That's it, fellas. Make sure to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more similar content. Feel free to also comment on the video about the next game that you would like me to cover. Have a good day, folks.